I am Charlie, or CheesyGMing as the GM for this adventure, and with me, as always, are four fantastic heroes that are currently in a very underground situation. Say hi, friends that are underground at the moment.
Hello, I am Faye. I play Callaghan, a rogue who is absolutely not down for being sacrificed.
Hello, Sylvia here. I am playing Zora, our witch, and I think she agrees with not being sacrificed or liking that.
Oh man.
Hi, Bardi's still here, and I'm playing Yotzi, and her boots are filled with water, and she's not happy about that.
Hello, I'm Christoph. I will be playing Wind, and I'm currently sleeping on the shoulder of Yotzi with dry boots, so everything is fine.
Fair enough. Yeah, we are, just to remind our listeners, in an underground crypt of some sort, where it has a little layer of water that has little fishies swimming in. As last we left off, our party caught each other up with the situation, as some of them have simply awoken to a new place, then tried to figure out a way out of the storage room. While examining the door, the group found an opening in the ceiling and crawled up, except for Fox, finding an inner mountain structure covered with a thin layer of water. In the first chamber, the party found a book filled with names, and after some examination, the party realized on this other side of the door there are some wandering creatures. Once they noticed creatures weren't dead, the party took them all out, and then they are exploring now the much larger chamber where they found some items, and also some pings and mentions of magic from some of the items they have found and some of the doors.
Right. I think we ended with just taking out the treasure from that large sarcophagus at the end of the room.
Yeah, there was a wand and 3 liquids.
And somebody's sleeping.
Yeah, somebody needs to have the rest, so I'm all for...
I do think we might have some time to, look what some of these cool things are.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 unusual liquids, and I still have an unusual object from our other time in the other cave.
True.
Because where we didn't do the last thing because we didn't have time for it.
It's almost as if someone rushed you from one thing to another to make you tired and more susceptible to some poison.
We were already tired.
Yeah.
So yeah, but maybe we can, I think there's also one more unusual object that Zora already has, because it was a wand. It was clearly a wand, and
yes,
Ka was like, as if I ever want to could use a wand.
Yes.
That's not
How
my
long
jam.
have we now been out of the first room that we were locked in?
The storage room, or the one that you crawled into from this area?
The storage room, basically when we left the position that they expect us to be in, kind of.
Okay. Nearly an hour, but not even that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna let Wind sleep. So you're also good at looking things and knowing what they are.
Didn't you say you're a crafter, Miss Yodi?
Something similar. I'm not something glorified as full crafter, but I am trying my best. So I will help as much as I can.
I will hand Yoti the unusual object already, and I will look at the first unusual liquid, because I know my liquids,
Yes. So the useful thing here is that the first unusual liquid is actually a crafting roll, since that is not one of the magical items.
Amazing.
As for what item did you get to Yoti to check?
The unusual object that I had at hand.
That is going to be a magical roll. So if you want to switch between them for you to Yoti's going to take the crafting and you can take the magical, you can do those.
I also have nature.
Do you think that I know magic?
Oh yeah.
I don't know magic. I know crafting.
Fair.
I mean, I'm not gonna. Yoti isn't going to protest because she can be useful. It's like, this is not crafting, but at least the water speaks to me.
Beautiful. So, both of you identify your representative items. Cal, you identify the liquid as cheetah elixir. That is an elixir that can make you faster. Yoti, you identify the item as something called shaping sweet, which could have been very funny if you figured out the sweets already in the cave where you find them, but why not?
Oh no, I love the fairy ring. Oh no.
A fairy ring?
Is Zora identifying anything while the other two are also identifying?
I'd love to identify the wand that Kyle gave me. I pinged it in the chat. If you could tell me which role it needs.
It's going to be any of the magical ones, so whichever you would prefer. This is a wand of a spell called Parrot's Whisper. I would recommend going over it because it's both funny and long.
Gossiping parrots!
The Parrot's Whisper. You call forth an echo of the gossiping parrot from the tale of the witch and the weaver to whisper the secrets of a creature you can see within range. Garrulous parrot is known to chatter on for some time while deciphering the information you seek. The target must attempt a will saving throw. And if you succeed, the parrot tells you the target's highest weakness at the start of your next turn. In the meantime, the parrot chatters about various random topics. Critical success, the parrot chatters about various random topics for 1 round and reveals no relevant information. That's
if the target critically succeeds.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the target has to resist it, right? So
yes.
And then on a failure, the parrot tells you the target's highest weakness immediately, but sticks around for 1 round to chatter. And critical failure, the parrot tells you the target's highest weakness immediately, and you can ask the parrot 1 question about the target creature. You might need to collaborate with the GM to narrow down the question. At the start of your next turn, the parrot answers the questions truthfully.
How kind of him.
That's fun.
That's such a fun spell.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I love Pathfinder spells.
Yes, so you have found the wand of the Parrot's Whisper. You have found the shaping sweet, which is a consumable that is a little funsies, and you have found the cheetah elixir. That leaves you with only a couple of liquids that are still unidentified. How long is Wind sleeping, by the way? Because identifying those is 10 minutes.
I sleep for 20 minutes. Not sure if the shenanigans last time already took like 10.
Might be. Sort of, maybe like 15? I don't know.
I think 15 fits better.
Okay.
It wasn't a full
I'm
10
still
minutes
sleeping.
to do. And you're still sleeping. It just felt like I was telling you, this took 10 minutes, how long are you sleeping? And you just responded 10 more from what you said, regardless of what you said.
Okay, then let's try. I'm holding up the other 2 liquids. They look magical, do you say then? Or are they crafty? Are they...
Both of them are magical.
No. I mean... Can 2 people at the same time attempt to check on them?
Yeah.
Amazing, because then I will just choose one of them. You both choose each one and I'll just gamble. Because we don't know what we're gonna roll, and we can't roll after each other because that would be cheating.
Any of the magical will always be... magical thing would always be any of the magical rolls. So you can always gamble on like nature or occultism, etc.
Yeah.
So given that I'm really good at occultism, you can do the other one, I guess?
Yes.
But I mean, I can still fail. It might still be not one, so...
I think yours is higher on like the occultism than potentially Yoti's and mine's on... I don't know what Yoti's on nature is. I don't know.
Yoti is high nature.
Yes, high is a very, loose term if you don't know.
Trained and +2 wisdom. And Yoti also saw how Cal is... Yoti isn't sure why Cal is still alive. So just in case, she will do the one that Cal does.
That sounds fair. One of them...
That is so fair.
For the sake of our distribution, one of them is uncommon, the other one is common. Just so I can know which is taking which.
Do you want to have the double chance on the uncommon one?
Yeah, let's do double
Yeah, that
chance on
sounds
the
good.
uncommon one.
Cal and Yoti, both of you are looking at this item, and you both identify what it is.
Ooh.
This is something called life-boosting oil, lesser. Or near.
Ooh, interesting.
You also identify what you have, which is, funnily enough, only Zora now knows it, a solution to something you have spoken about before. You find a shrinking potion.
Amazing.
Oh.
But also, I love the life-boosting oil.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
You know, Cal will look at it and look at the rest, and it's just like, should I just keep this one?
Yoti just nods.
to potentially
Please.
apply?
Please.
Ferociously. Ferociously nodding.
Anyone needing to be like a super fast walker? Like, or like the cheetah's elixir?
I would take that, I think.
Yes.
So, if we don't find another way out from our storage room, with this potion here, we might be able to get Fox out. It's a shrinking potion.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I will also hand it to Wind.
By now, Wind is awake, yes.
So, keep it safe. Fox might need it.
Yeah, no, we still probably try and rescue him normally.
Yeah, I suppose that should be a last resort. But let's head to the other doors, I guess, to see if we can get him out.
Yeah.
Thinking that now that we're here and are trying to figure out where to go and if there's, hidden things, should drink the eagle eye elixir, or Wind should. I think one of us should. Who's the one that we also found in the cave? Or you're better at perceiving things, especially if you look for secret doors and traps.
I think you are. Sora should take it.
Yeah, because it's for an hour, so
Then go ahead.
I'll just.
Can I check if there's a magical enchantment on the door itself, on the left one?
Absolutely.
Can I investigate that?
Yes. I'm gonna say... You're using your detect magic, I'm assuming, correct? To kind of
Yes.
figure that out.
I guess the detect magic to locate it, and then investigation to figure out more.
So with detect magic, there are two options. The first option is to check if there's general traps or contraptions on the door. That was going to be a general perception. The second thing is you can use the detect magic because it's within 30 feet and you would know the range. You could play with it a little bit more of walking to be just 30 feet from the door and then seeing if the ping is from the door or from further in. So I can tell you with your detect magic, because that's a cantrip, the ping comes further beyond the door, not from the door. But if you would like to check if there's anything on the door, that's going to be a perception.
I guess I'll leave that to Cal, because she's the expert. So there's something magical behind this door.
Trapsies, because I get also from Trap Finder another +1, because what do my eagle eyes see?
Your eagle eyes see a trap on the door.
Stay back.
You see a little string, a tiny thin wire that had you open the door, it will immediately snap and something is going to happen. Now, finding the trap and disabling the trap are two different things.
Yeah. I'll just, tell the others to stand back. I got this. And step forward to try it.
Wait, I will still give you, but I will cast the Nudge Fate cantrip on you to give you that extra bit of help. And technically that would also trigger my Familiar of Luck, which would give you a +1 to AC, if you so needed.
Let's see.
And with that, I'm standing back.
Yes, smart.
I think Yotzi would ask Cal as she's approaching the trap, hey, should I make a wall of ice between me and you right now, just to be safe?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be I got this.
What could possibly go wrong?
I just roll thievery to try to disable this device.
Yes, it's going to be thievery. Thievery is going to be open because you would know if you critically fail, it explodes in your face or whatever things will happen.
Hell yeah.
Happens. So you would know if you critically succeeded based on the roll.
No, it won't be relevant because I will 100% disable this.
28 is really high. 28 is enough to succeed disabling the trap.
Nice.
Sadly, not a critical success, but absolutely a success. Very close to a critical success, to be fair. So how does Cal disable this wire that has been waiting for someone to accidentally open this door?
I mean, depending on how the wire is strung, probably it has some way where it like it's taut and probably knowing exactly which kind of tension that needs, but taking that string and binding it against something else to keep the tension, like holding that at the time, probably looks really interesting. Depending on how it is probably lying on the floor and doing some weird little movements. And I just like, okay, we should be set now. We should be set now. I mean, nothing happened now, so be good. Is the door unlocked or is it locked? Do I need to also open up that door too?
It seems unlocked. It seems like it was only trapped for whoever would be accidentally just thinking, hey, I can open this door, not an issue.
Then Cal will just gently open that door.
You open...
What is that? Oh my god.
Thank God for the map fitting my needs so perfectly. You open the door to a small room. It's a 10 on 10 sized room, filled to the top with skeletons. All of them seem very old. Even from
I don't know
first
what I was
glance.
expecting, but I was not expecting this.
You need to store the skeletons somewhere, huh?
I mean, they have to get rid of some of the bodies at some point if they have been here for so long, potentially. But you said there was like magic. Do you feel a stronger ping now where it might be?
Can I try and pinpoint like from which corner-ish it is coming? Like how close can I ping with casting detect magic over and over again?
So basically it is inside the room. The magic is inside the room.
If Zora told me it's in the back corner, I'll go in there and look for, if something looks magical and hold things up to be just like, is this? Is it this?
Just all the skeletons.
Is
Not
this
the
spell
skele-
magical?
I'm assuming it's going to be something that somebody wore, maybe
Like
a ring or
yeah.
like a necklace or...
Yeah, that's
What
fair.
if that person was like a magician? Does that make the bone magical?
That's a very good question.
I know.
I don't think so.
Doesn't the magic die with them?
It should.
I mean, yeah, the magic does die when a person leaves you.
Cal, you're starting to like pick up bones to check, is it this thing, is it this thing? You can give me a perception check to like look in the room. To find like anything
Yes.
more outstanding than a bone. So as Cal, you start looking over, like moving the skeletons, trying to see if you find anything that seems to be anything more that might have magic to it. You come across two things. As you start moving the skeletons, like slowly, to try to find anything on them, your leg bumps into something that's here, sounds like glass. And you pick it up and you see that it's another small vial, a potion of some sort. So you like put it aside. As you ask Zora, is this the magical thing? And Zora would tell you, it is magical. But once you put it away, there's still magic in the room. So as you keep searching the bodies, you find on one of the skeletons, on one of the skulls, something that looks like goggles, an eyepiece of sort.
I'll take it as said. I'll just hold them up like a...
These are the magical items.
I mean, I'll take him and just like, okay, so, well, I don't think this is the exit unless it is the exit out of this world in here, which, as we said, we are not doing this. That is not what we are going to do. I think we might need to take the other route.
Charlie, due to morbid curiosity, I want to ask, can you check if this trap was meant to keep people in or keep people out?
Ooh.
I love that question.
Because one of those options is going to be more horrifying.
Give me a perception roll to take a look a little bit closer to the trap to see what was it supposed to actually hold. Yoti, you're examining the trap and trying to figure out, was it meant to keep something in or keep something out? You get the sense that this was placed here for the exact scenario that someone somehow finds their place into this chamber and tries to open the door. It wasn't meant to keep something in, it was meant to keep something out.
So it's likely they were collecting skeletons for some reason. They had skeletons in the sarcophagi. Maybe they forgot to clean them, or didn't get to clean them until recently, so they aren't yet in this chamber.
Maybe they only clean them out when they're, have new, yet to become skeletons. Yes, I meant corpses. So, but let's not dwell. We want to get out of here, and
We don't want to become bones. Not yet, I
yes,
guess.
the big question for me right now is, when do you want to quickly run back and shrink Fox to take him with you? Or
I mean,
do we still want to continue our original plan?
I don't know. It depends a lot if we straight up can go to the door or not.
Okay. Let's check the other door and see where that leads, and then we can decide.
That sounds reasonable.
Everyone agree? Beautiful.
As Cal is passing me, I also want to hand there, I forgot this earlier, it's technically for my daily preparations, but it's a little talisman that gives you a bonus against the first haunt or spell on a day. So might be useful against hacks, or if you're thinking we're fighting hacks.
That is,
very cool.
That sounds good, because weirdly, stuff targets me a lot.
Now, I think it might be a +2 bonus, or it should be a +2 bonus, because I have expert in occultism.
Ooh,
It's great.
So yeah, it's basically just a little charm tied up with herbs, and I say, take this, stay safe.
I love it. I will now take a good look at this door. If, there's another trap on here, because I don't like that.
Has enough time passed that the guidance is over, or is that still on you?
Guidance is
not
going
guidance,
off.
Nudge Fate.
Okay, Nudge Fate. How long is Nudge Fate?
1 minute.
I think searching might have been a little more than 1 minute, so yes.
Then I will recast it.
You can give me a perception roll with your Eagle Eye Elixir. No traps that you can spot in sight.
Well, apparently they only thought it's bad to look at skeletons. And I will try opening the door. Is it closed or open?
Currently closed. It is, however, a very small door, unlike the others. Even Zora and Yoti are gonna need to squeeze through.
But Cal can fit?
Cal can fit. Cal is small.
Let me take a peek before one of you gets stuck in here, right? Maybe Wind you too. We can take a first peek?
Yeah, sounds good.
When you open the door, you see a couple of things before I'm gonna say even you move in. There's still water all over the place. Some like when you open the door, just a little fishy runs away from it.
Oh.
Closer to you, you see a little split as there's a route going up and a route going down with a door going down. And a little further to the right, there is a lit statue pointing towards the right. But deeper within, what some of you might have already noticed, are more creatures wandering aimlessly, bumping into the walls like you've seen them before. As you already recognize, these are the same kind of undead you have fought. The stinky ones, not the long-tongued ones.
Do they recognize us?
At the moment, you are not in a place that they are noticing you immediately.
Okay,
Even
and,
without your stealth, you're still far away.
just in case, Yoti's gonna freeze a light bulk of water and take it in her hand. So she has an icicle, a small icicle inside of her hand.
Okay.
Which, try to just very quietly, just do a tiny sneak up here to just see, hey, where does this lead? If this maybe is already our exit, we don't even need to deal with those stinky ones.
I would just say put here.
Is it,
door.
does it end there, or does it continue to the left?
As the route that goes up leads to another door.
Yes, but is there like a corner to my left? Because I see only darkness.
That will be because you do not have, I believe, dark vision, and you can't see there.
Then
You have
I
low light
would
vision.
also sneak
I
up.
have only low.
Yes,
I
so
have only
Okay.
low light.
you're gonna have to have some light with you because otherwise you cannot see down here.
What does this door look like? Just of like, is it also like a tiny one, a tiny door, or like a big door, or?
This one looks a little larger than the previous one. It is gonna fit both Zora and Yoti, but absolutely not something that will fit Fox in full size, for example.
Do we hear anything?
Give me a perception roll.
Of like, because we know that maybe somewhere at some point.
Can I also do a perception roll to see if there's like more than the two creatures that we kind of see from here?
Absolutely, give me a perception
Because
roll.
I think
as
there's a
well.
bend at the end.
Yes, there's it goes down to something further in the end. What of Yoti and Wind? What are you doing while Cal and Zora are examining their own sides?
Would it be a stretch if I tried connecting with water and asking it more about the layout of this place? Now that I think about it.
If you will explain to me how that's been done, it might not be a stretch.
I'm just thinking in terms of Yotzi being connected to water as a kineticist, like a cleric to a DT, but Yoti to water. But if you say no, it's going to be super reasonable as well.
Give me a moment to think about it, because technically that's going to be way beyond what a kineticist ability should be able to do. But I like the idea, so give me a moment. I'm going to say...
Sounds like a talk to animals kind of thing. Just like
Yeah,
talk to
exactly.
water.
Talk to water. I want to say, you know what? I'm going to leave it for a roll. I'm going to leave it for your nature roll, because that's what you're basically trying to connect to. So give me a nature roll. You can do it open. And
Maybe it's
according
less
to that, I'll
of
let you know.
Yoti talking to the water. It's more so she's feeling the vibrations of like
Exactly.
the water
That was my
around the
sense.
corner or something.
Exactly.
That'd
That
be
was my
cool.
sense of what I was thinking. So give me a nature roll. It's going to be open.
Oh my god.
No way.
Oh my god. Why is it a not 20? That's not
I
supposed
mean-
to be.
Let me come back to you in a moment then.
That's great.
Oh, no. I know exactly what I'm telling you. I just want to do the other things that are easier to explain first.
Sure.
What is Wind doing so I can do Cal, Zora, and Wind before going back to the shape of water, but say our version?
I would probably also help Cal with the door, just to be sure
Okay.
that we don't trigger a trap or anything like that.
Sounds good. I'm gonna start with Wind and Cal once I get Wind's roll. Wind and Cal. Both of you examining the door and what you can hear behind it. The door doesn't seem trapped, but you do hear munching sounds behind the door. As if something is eating on the other side, and it is crunchy every once in a while, but mostly sounds not so crunchy. You also hear the ever so, like, soft bloop, bloop, every once in a while. Not repetitive, not monotonic. It doesn't seem like a faucet that has been left open or something. It sounds more random, but like something liquidy, kind of dripping on the other side as well. That would lead me to Zora. You are trying to sense if you can get any noticing of something else other than those the creature like on the other side of the chamber from where you're standing. Only from hearing, you can hear at least 3 in total of those beings. It's not one of them that has been wandering, there are a couple of them there. But as Zora is examining, and that I'm gonna connect to Yoti, so I'm gonna do Zora and then immediately Yoti because that's gonna be related to one another. As Zora is looking forward, trying to figure out if there's something else that she's noticing, you notice that the statue that is standing in between you and the creatures, the one with the light, it looks as if it has an ethereal movement ever so slightly, as if something incorporeal is hovering and hiding within it. Which would lead me immediately to Yoti. Yoti, describe to me what you are doing, and I'll describe to you what you get. What does Yoti do to connect to the waters? Like, practically.
Yeah, so Yoti crouches, then she puts her hand into water, and she starts doing basic kinesis, like add a portion there, subtract there, and tries to gather how the water reacts to it. So the waves, the specific waves that come back to her hand, and she's trying to remember how it's supposed to work.
You make your effort to connect yourself with the water. You try to figure out, because this entire place has been covered by water so far. It's inside a mountain, which is already weird. But also, you have found basically nothing but corpses and sarcophagi here. As you connect to the water, you can feel as if the water is signaling you. Similar to Morse, but not exactly that. It feels something more raw, more, well, natural. As you place your hands inside the water and some fish swim around it, move around. And you start hearing something. Not a voice, but the sound that happens when a drop falls into a pool of water and makes those little ripples in water. And all of those sounds, as if rain starts falling down on a lake and the water keeps falling into itself and goes back from like a little bit like the faith of you are a drop in the world when you live, and when you die, your drop goes back to the ocean. Your water is speaking to you. As you hear, find the first one. Find the first sacrifice. They need your help. Find them. They're waiting for you. As the water ripples away from you, you feel a snippet as if like echolocation for just a second. As you get a sense that there are more things roaming this place. But you get an answer, or at least a sense of an answer for something you have been wondering so far. Is there a way that will lead you back to the storage? You don't believe there is from here. You believe this will take you somewhere else completely, but the water has told you this route is the correct one.
Wow.
Honor the natural 20.
Charlie, this was an amazing description. You also rolled a natural 20 on description, okay?
True.
Yoti is somewhat shocked. This doesn't always work, and definitely not as precise. She, with her jaw slightly opened, looks at Zora and says, Miss Zora, you might not believe me, and I know that it's sometimes hard for people to believe that. I need to be quiet. But the water told me that 2 things. First and foremost, there is no other way back to get Fox. And second one, we need to get the first sacrifice and save them. I'm not sure how they're supposed to be alive, but the water says we can save them.
No, I do believe you. There's something ethereal about this place. But to get Fox, we'd need to get Wind and the potion.
We do. We cannot leave
So I guess I'd motion to them of like, come back, without being loud. But yeah, let's see what the investigation brings us.
Carl would have also not opened anything without checking with the others, but wanted to just check, okay, what's here? If we maybe have a way out without, and would also motion to Wind, just slowly, very carefully creep back. Maybe check out just once the other door that we saw down here, if I hear anything cool.
Is the door down here a small one?
It's a regular one.
Okay, then it just looks small.
Yes. There are only 2 small doors, which is the one that you are standing at the moment next to, and the one that was in the room that you came from. Other doors may have looked small, but all of them are medium-sized.
I see.
So even if, for example, Fox comes back and he comes up here and goes back to a large size, Fox could squeeze through the medium ones.
And before everyone's come back, I would love to figure out if that ethereal presence I felt about the statue, if that is somehow connected to what Yodi heard.
Ooh, interesting. Are you trying to think about it magically, or are you trying to do something specific?
Probably think about it magically, would it make sense to hear a voice from the statue through the water, or are they likely 2 separate things? I don't want to enter the room physically due to the enemies, so whatever I can investigate from the distance.
Let's go with occultism. Just your magical nature, to see if you can gather a sense here of what this might be. You think of what Yoti has said, and you look at the statue and its etherealness. Yoti have mentioned something that you think, wait, it makes perfect sense. Because Yoti said, find the first sacrifice and save them. It wouldn't make sense if the first sacrifice is alive. Since they died, they were the sacrifice. But who said the first sacrifice is alive? You've already encountered unrested spirits before. And you get a sense that that's what you're looking at. A spirit hiding within a statue. Just examining to see what you're doing before deciding what to do with themselves.
Good to know. Are Cal and Wind coming back, or...?
Cal have mentioned wanting to check the door below, which is the southern door.
I would just stick with Cal for the moment.
No problem.
I said we move as quietly as ghosts. Ha 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 ha.
Once again, Cal, the door is not trapped nor locked, but you do hear flickering on the other side, as if there's a fire on the other side. Not a full-on fire burning in the place, but at least a small enough fire that is close enough for you to hear.
Like maybe like some crackling of like it could be a fireplace or like a cooking station.
Precisely.
Something in that direction?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that indeed that does make some sense. But then, I mean, Carl would basically, with the wind in tow, just creep out again and close the door before we talk.
Smart.
Fair enough.
I said do this and then just be like, so there's at least 2 doors. One has crunching, munching sounds with some irregular drips. And the other one there's probably a fireplace or like something in there. Like it's not a wildfire or anything. It's more like a controlled fire. And then, you saw us, we didn't go down that path because, stinkies. You're not a stinky, I know I love you.
Yeah, it sounded like there was at least 3 of those creatures. Maybe more.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Yeti will also talk about layout of the place, that there is no other way to get Fox. And about the first survivor, she's still confused about how they're supposed to save them, but yeah.
So the statue in the room, like the one that had the light, there was something odd about it. It felt like there might have been a spirit or ghost hiding inside it. So maybe it's not like a physical skeleton, but like the spirits we encountered in the other cave.
And we need to talk to them.
If they'll allow us, it might help us get some clues about this place. Should we get Fox first?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Wait, are the stairs still there? Or do they vanish?
Oh, good question.
Win,
you're tiny, right?
I'm tiny, yes.
So you couldn't carry another tiny creature.
I think I can.
You can?
You would need to use an action for that, but you technically can.
Because if there's not the stairs, we can just attach a rope and you could carry Fox up. But it might be easier to do that for someone our size.
Yeah, and I think Yeti could recreate the stairs even if they melted, because the range of kinesis is 30 feet, and it's less than 30 feet to the bottom there.
True. Yep.
So you're going back to the first chamber to basically feed the potion to Wind, feed the potion to Fox, bring them up through the coffin, and then use the stairs of Yoti again to have the stairs go up, correct?
Yes.
Beautiful. Is that a shared effort, or is any of you doing something else while the others are doing this?
Not sure if it's intentional, but I actually like the idea of Cal staying back on the map at the door to kind of like guide it or alert us if anything might approach.
No, that is something that Carl would just probably ask, hey, can one of you give me like a little bit of light? Because it's really dark down here.
I will actually cast light on you as well. You can have multiple going.
Yes.
Can you just drag it on yourself?
Yes, because then I have no issues, but then just Cal would just hunker down, and even with a light, probably has put it on like the talisman or something, so that, can hide it, but can use it when she needs it, and will just become one with the shadows.
Yes. So we have With a shared effort of Yoti and Wind, Fox goes up. Fox is still tiny, so that's refreshing probably for Fox and Wind.
Yep.
For Fox, it's like a perspective of Wind, how terrifying the world is.
Oh yeah. How would Fox just feel being suddenly so small compared to the one who he carries on his antlers most of the time?
Good question. I think I would be mostly chill about it.
The chillest and
Yeah, just like strolling through the water, having fun, splashing around.
playing with the
that's
fishes.
adorable.
Oh no, so
Yeah.
cute!
The fishes
no,
are
so
giant. They're like
cute.
whales.
That's adorable. If anyone really likes to draw something, drawing our elk playing around with small fishes as his tiny elk would be a perfect thing to see.
Please.
Adorable. As Fox goes back, Cal, you're staking next to the door with Starless. None of you sense anything moving. Like, the door is not opened from the other side or anything. As you're listening to the other side, it seems to be quite similar to where you have left it. Remind me, Zora, what are you doing while the others, like, just kind of being in the middle or anything specific?
Yeah, just being in the middle, also being on guard, alert.
As you get Fox back, and no additional noises come from the door where Cal is next to. After you splashy a little bit in the water, what do you do?
I guess we do still need to get Fox through the door while he's still tiny, because we need to go there.
Yes.
How long does it last?
It lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay, then do we want to confront one of the rooms? Did you get an idea, Yuti, which way might be the way out?
Somewhere forward,
So fighting the creatures.
fighting the creatures. I don't think we're going to be able to be stealthy in the water with Fox in his full size anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the goal, to get out before he returns to full size.
yeah.
Then let's hurry.
I mean, we do know that where the munching is, they're likely our enemies. So I guess it leaves fire as a possible option. But that's kind of it.
Then let's have a quick peek into the room with the crackling fire. For fighting the...
Yes.
I would like a perception roll from everyone once you open the door, please.
That's not scary.
They're closer. They're closer, aren't they?
Let me just put ominous music for the for the scary.
I would hop on Yoti's shoulder again.
They did certainly move, but they were moving earlier, I think, at random, so let's hope they didn't notice us.
Exactly. They were moving earlier, they're still moving like that. As you open the door, you do notice that they have been shifting. It doesn't seem like they started moving towards you as much as they were just still bumping and walking aimlessly around and randomly. However, Cal, as you open the door, you get just like a second of seeing something ethereal and incorporeal flying back into the statue.
Ew. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that.
Well, you know what I told you earlier.
Yeah.
The thing is, if they're hiding from us, that is a good sign that they're not hostile towards us.
That's fair.
Maybe it's not it might be also be an ambush, but let's hope it's the first, not the second.
I mean, yeah. Oh boy.
So, do we want to surprise those creatures?
I can build a wall, like with a statue and eyes. Basically, with extended kinesis, if there is ice in there, I can make it fill to a 5 feet cube. And I specifically created an icicle inside my hand previously just to be able to throw it and quickly create a wall. So that's an option.
I mean, if we want to try to not get close Cal would take out her bow just to,
I mean, if we want to go there, we might as well just kill them quickly, huh?
Yeah.
The thing is, they're stinky, and fighting them might bring attention of other people, like munchers in the room up top. So if we can split them, that'd be good, I think. So I would still vote for the wall.
Maybe we can sneak up and then do the wall.
Behind us?
Or at least Cal and me sneaking up. And then you build the wall and we jump.
As in separating you and Cal to fight them alone, or?
No.
We could still attack over the wall, right? It's not that high, or like...
Yeah, the thing is, since Cal has heard munching up top, any noise of fighting could also attract other people.
Oh, I see.
And so here we could both protect us from the hideous smell and, split them, as in these two zombie creatures. And
Could you create the ice block right in front of the door to, like, block the top door?
oh, actually, yes, I can. It should not be loud. So I could stand in here, build... It's 30 feet exactly. Two things here. It takes 8 actions in total. And it should not be loud again.
Wall has been built. So you're using 8 actions, building a wall in front of the door,
Yeah.
correct? Very quickly, you also see how the wall's been built up to fully cover it.
Yeah.
Now you have a door going down where you heard flickering, and the creatures further in if you continue to the right.
Well, then let's launch the surprise attack.
Can we first all squeeze in? I'm not sure about Zora, but I would like to be squeezed.
I prefer to stay back here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can reach them from here.
Yeah,
So-
you could.
Yeah, do I need to roll to squeeze here, or is it like difficult terrain?
It's just difficult terrain.
Okay, then
Had it been mid-combat and you would be running, I would have told you to roll, but this is just difficult terrain to move through. Are you leaving Fox behind for now, or are you just
Yes.
moving them forward to cross the door?
I think Fox should get in because this is a small door, and if the potion stops working, we have a big problem.
True.
Fox can hide up next to the wall if he doesn't want to be involved in combat.
Yeah, that sounds also good.
In that case, they are not perceptive almost at all. Even when you're walking here and roaming around pretty close to them, they're not really noticing things at the moment, but you do know that the other ones noticed at some point when something got too close to them. So you think it's only a matter of distance. So let me know what you would like to do in order to get this as quickly and effectively as possible.
Whenever everyone says they're ready, I shoot a spell. It's basically just waiting for a signal from, like, the ones getting in range. If they want to get in range.
Carl would have, can use her short bow, and probably would, because they were stinky and really annoying with the stinky. And I can shoot from here.
do you have any range stuff, Wend?
No.
Okay, we're both going to get stinked.
Don't you have your wind boomerang though?
I mean, I also just need to carry wind into melee.
It's fine. I can jump.
For you, the
Yeah,
floor is
no.
difficult terrain.
Yeah, and if you're...
Because if you're not flying...
Maybe stay back
It's
first and let me and Cal open fire though. If we can get rid of them from distance.
Yeah, and if they come close, then I'll jump off. It's fine.
So, we have Zora preparing behind the door. We have Cal preparing with her short bow. We have Fox in hiding next to the wall. And we have Yoti and Wind on Yoti's shoulder. Is Starless also going in or staying back?
They're with the others. I already positioned them right next to Cal. So
No problem.
they're kind of course, always flying since they don't want to waddle through water. But
In that case, how are you starting this? What are you doing?
me and Cal probably try to time our attacks at the same time so
Yes.
that they open combat.
We've done this. We've done this before. Because, I mean, Zora is usually behind Cal. Zora would see when, the string of the bow is drawn to the degree that, we would try to simultaneously murder some creatures.
Yes. In that case, you can all give me initiative, and because you are the ones launching the attack, you can tell me what your order is. Like, what are you gonna... Who's gonna go first, second, third, fourth? And that's gonna be the thing that triggers the combat.
Then it might make sense to go either start with Zora or with Carl. Just because we said, hey, we start this and have them...
Yeah, then I'd open.
The question is, does Cal go before, basically?
I think it's better for me to open, so like it's Zora, then Cal, and then Yoti if she also has a ranged attack.
I do.
Then...
But I'm also cavalry.
Yeah, okay. So you've become the horse girl?
Yes.
I've become fox.
Yes. You have indeed. For now.
Honorary fox.
Honorary fox. So your order is Zora, Cal, Yoti, Wind. Correct?
Yeah.
In that case, let's see how quickly we can end this combat. Zora, you're going first.
I start off with giving Cal my Nudge Fate, which also activates the Balanced Luck. So Cal gets a +1 to AC.
Yeah.
And I will shoot at probably the closer one. Or does it have cover from the statue?
Sounds good. From the statue, yes. You would probably want to indicate for the other one who is not covered by the statue.
Yeah, I'll shoot at the further one, which doesn't have cover, and I'll try to hit it with a needle darts.
Sounds good.
And I will make them silver, because we are fighting undead.
Sounds good.
Really? No, I'm here pointing that. That is a nat 1. I don't want a nat 1 to open this fight. We want to kill them.
Rude.
That's fair
I
enough.
know, right? It's like the first combat roll and gives me a nat 1.
Wow.
Wow!
Oh my
Okay. That's a 2 for our dear listeners.
It is
True.
higher.
It's technically higher, but
is higher.
I do not think that will hit anything.
Sadly, a 12 does not hit.
Unless they are like off guard to us or something. I don't know. Any chance?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
Honestly, they were not aware of you being here.
I do have the rogue dedication.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Creatures that haven't acted should be off guard to me, right? Because of my surprise attack.
Exactly. I'm gonna go with yes. Let's add the off guard. And honestly, 12 off guard hits.
Wow.
At 2 hits.
Hell yeah.
I know, right?
My rogue dedication paid off. Great.
You wanna hear something even worse? The 11 would also hit off guard, but because it was a critical fail, it goes to a failure, which means you would not
So
have
the
hit.
reroll was actually worth it to go from a 1 to a 2.
Yes.
That's
No, that's
so sad.
amazing. This is beautiful. It's amazing.
I would say that's good in this case, because it works in our favor.
Yeah, that's so.
I mean,
Oh wait, I rerolled the attack, but I actually wanted to roll damage.
Imagine if you would roll a d20 as damage. That would be insane.
Yes, and the needle darts are made of silver.
12 points of damage. You would see that the silver does not do anything specific for this. You don't see any
That
weakness
is fair.
to silver.
Not all undead are necessarily weak, but it was a good try. Then that is my turn. Gave up my buffs.
That leads us to Cal.
They're also off guard to me.
So I feel like it would make sense for Zora because of the rogue dedication, and specifically for Cal for the rogue. I don't know if it would make sense for Yoti and Wind.
No, it's specifically the surprise attack feat that we have that gives us the off guard to us, right? Yeah.
Yeah. For Zora and Cal, it would be fitting. For Wind and Yoti, it's gonna be no longer off
that's
guard.
fair.
We keep on with the low rolls. This is 16.
16 still hits.
At least it's something.
That's gonna be 11 more points of damage. Taken fully.
I will try to hit a second time because I have no reload time on this beautiful short bow. So
Love to see
Yes.
those.
that was so close to being a nat 20. So close. But it's
Sadly,
just
yes.
an unnatural 20.
Which is still a hit. Nearly a crit, but sadly not a crit.
Again, so close and yet so far. But doing 12 damage. And
Bringing our wandering undead to be pretty badly looking.
let's see if I can hit a third time. I, just need a...
It's always recommended.
Yeah. No, that's a 3 in total.
3 is not gonna do it. I know they have very low AC, but a 3 is not gonna do it.
Yeah, so the third arrow just, goes into one of the, hits one of the coffins behind it, and I was just like, okay, yeah.
After Cal, we have Yoti.
Okay, I guess if we don't have a wall against them, I'm gonna become the wall. And I go here together with the wind on my shoulder to block this tank with the statue. And after that, I'm just gonna do an aerial boomerang. I'm gonna just straight into the one that had taken quite a beating.
You could also place your line in a way, because the line is a 5-foot thick line usually. You could also place it in a way that will hit one of the other enemies.
Would it?
Line, unless specified otherwise, is 5 feet thick.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So you could place it in a way that goes kind of between the two and then hits both of them. Rolling to the already injured one, that is going to be a critical fail with an 8. And to the non-injured one, it is
Oh, damn.
a critical fail with a 9. If I'm being honest, one of them is dead from the boomerang. And the other one is just not doing pretty well. As you see something you have seen before, it's not only taking more damage because it's critically failed, they're also weak to slashing.
The one that's down is now restoring into 2 zombies before being destroyed. And this one is on the way.
Yes, absolutely. It splits into 2.
And that's my turn.
It does remind you they are being destroyed immediately after, meaning they're no longer on the board. After Yoti, funnily enough, is Wind. That's why I told you you can choose wherever you're going.
You can also delay until they come to you.
Yeah, I think I'll delay.
Okay. That means Wind delaying for them to come closer. They are going to, now being aware that they're being attacked, start responding and look for the source of danger. As the first one of them is the one who is already just a little bit injured. It is going to start moving towards Yoti, which is 25 feet. 5, 10, 15. Gets all the way within Yoti's range.
I smell.
And as a second action, you smell that it smells like sulfur, but it doesn't make you want to hurl or vomit anything at the moment. However, it is going to try to bite you.
That's not nice.
No. With a total of 21 to hit Yoti.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts, but it's going to be even more hurtful as I'm going to ask for 10 points of damage and a fortitude save. As to jog your memories, these guys smell like sulfur and their bite feels like it's going inside your blood.
Horrifying. But a 22 and a fortitude.
22 and a fortitude is a success. You are not affected by the bite of the creature. As these were 2 actions, that's its entire turn. When are you jumping in here or waiting for the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll jump in here. I will jump down Yodi's shoulders. I will then hunt prey. And then I will use my overwhelming combination.
Beautiful.
So many dice.
So that's 52 points of
I
damage
keep forgetting.
with a crit and a hit.
How do you want to do this?
I mean, I just... my butterflies spring out. I just make like a... Is it called barrel roll when you roll on your side?
Yeah.
I just barrel roll and just slice
so.
the head off and then punch it away.
Wind is horrifying.
Wind is terrifying, yeah.
Wind is adorable. Deadly, but adorable.
I like to think that while this is happening, Fox is splishy splashies with the fishies.
He's just having the best time of his life.
He's just a happy little fox in the corner.
He's gonna be so sad when he goes back to
I
being
mean,
large.
I have to learn the tiny
It's like,
spell.
oh, they're
We have to find a scroll of
It's-
like tiny.
The
Shrink,
scroll
right?
You
of
have to
It's-
learn a
tiny.
shrink
It's-
spell. So one of you needs
Alex
it.
canonically can swim, so
Yeah.
Uh,
Like it's now my mission to find a shrink.
Shrink
Wait,
is arcane and
oh,
primal.
it's not occult. No.
Sadly, no. It's arcane and primal.
Dang it.
trick magic item. Let's go. Into wand.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We'll find a
Yeah,
way.
that's my 3.
Wind. That was 3. I felt like it was
no,
less.
move, hunt, prey, attack.
Okay. Oh yeah, hunt prey. Okay. Leading us to our last one, as Zora said, from the 3, as it starts 5, 15, 25, and as a second action, is going to try to bite Wind. Wind is all the way on the ground, but it doesn't have any mechanical effects. It's just to imagine how flexible this guy is to just fully bite something on the ground.
I mean, he's probably missing a couple of ribs.
That's
So
true.
yeah,
He is missing in general. With a 13, he is indeed missing something. That's gonna be our guy's turn, going all the way back to Zora. Zora, this is in your direction.
I just imagined a zombie, or undead, whatever it is, just flopping over and just like smashing their head into the floor as they like aimed next to Wind.
just
Exactly.
fighting the water.
Yeah, and just like
So sadly, I mean, actually, you're kind of in the middle, so Yoti is not 100% covering it for you, so you can kind of have a shot that is not covered by Yoti.
is it half cover or not at all cover?
It has no cover.
All right. I guess then I will just repeat what I did earlier and blast it with a cantrip.
Sounds good. Our favorite thing to hear.
Then I started blasting.
Maybe something higher than a 2 this time.
I
Hey, it's a
mean,
3!
It's a 3!
I can't.
The dice are listening to us. Who would have
The
thought?
exact
No.
DC, right?
That's what I asked for, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's
hits.
hitting. Yeah. With a 13.
For a total of 14 damage.
It
Yeah,
feels like
it-
the most occult thing because it's just enough. Like, just using the fate enough to hit a hit.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, why bother high rolling when you can just hit like with
Yeah.
low effort, right?
Save the good rolls for later.
Just hit. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm unsure what to do with my extra action. I probably should have done it before, but I can just use it to do a recall knowledge on these guys.
Yeah, you could.
Do they have any other weaknesses than slashing, I guess?
All right, give me your religion roll, please. Zora would know that most undead, this is not a hard rule for all undead, but most undead are weak to vitality because they have void healing. These, just like most undead, have vitality weakness in addition to their slashing weakness.
Alright. I don't think any one of us can access that, though. At least not what I've seen you guys perform so far, so I guess that is my turn.
That would lead us to Cal.
Well, yeah. How good can I actually... Could I even shoot it at the moment with, like, Yoti there?
It will get a +1 to its AC, but as you've seen, the AC is not massively high.
I'll try and just be duck. Or squat, like one of them.
Duck, goose.
or squat, like whichever you prefer.
Shrink.
Yeah.
28, even with a +1 for its AC, is still a critical hit.
Isn't that beautiful? Wow. For my deadly D10, a 1. I think you are being disrespectful, dice. You're being so disrespectful. It's incredible.
Yeah, that has been rude.
Yeah. Well, I will try to shoot again because what else can I do?
That's a hit with a 22. 7 more points of damage.
Yeah, and I mean, again, let's just try if maybe Yep, that's a miss. My last one is a miss. I'm happy to not be in the stink, so we're doing good.
Yeah. It's unpleasant.
Yeah.
That leads us. Sorry, you were gonna say
it's just icky.
icky. That
Speaking
leads
of
us to
sink,
Yoti.
Yoti takes a single step towards the sink. Then one action to recall a boomerang. Damn.
You
That's
roll
a
for
good
our
roll.
guy. A basic reflex save. Basic reflex save is a 6. I don't know if you would expect the creatures that walk aimlessly, only have 2 actions, and bump into walls as they randomly walk slowly to have
True
a high
enough, but-
reflex.
Yeah, okay. I'll take what I can get.
Maybe they're like the
with-
drunken masters. They just like bobble around so weirdly that it's like unpredictable for you.
I wish. That's so funny. However, Yoti, how do you want to do this?
Yeah, okay, I guess there are needles inside of it. There are 2 arrows, and
Yeah.
I want to think that they were out of this body as such a way that there's a line in between them. So it comes back, slices us in 2, and so that there are like needles at the top, needles at the bottom, and 2 arrows split in it.
Beautiful. I love it. As you shoot your boomerang, the last one of them falls to the ground and is destroyed. And we are out of initiative.
And no one came to the rescue.
That was very
And no one
fast,
came to the
right?
rescue.
2 turns is like 20 seconds.
Not even. It's like
Yeah.
12, right?
Yeah, it's
Even
12.
less.
It's like 6 seconds
Yeah.
per turn.
It's about 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We were prepared.
This might have been one
This
of the
was not a
fastest.
fight. This was an execution.
I guess now that Yoti is standing right next to the statue, can we still feel that presence in it?
It still does look ethereal, as if something is like within it.
I guess I'd also squeeze through now.
I think there's also another door in the front. Oh god.
Yeah,
More
I'd love
doors.
to like peer around the corner and see what's actually in the back room.
Going forward, you see there's a door to the north and a door to the south, as this chamber has 3 sarcophagi and a couple of pillars. And in the center of it seems like there's a probably very old and by now covered by water, what seems to be a bowl of some sort. But at the moment, it seems to be covered in dirt or like filled with kind of watery dirt. As when Cal goes in, all she sees are the pillars, the door up, and the door down.
So many doors.
Can we listen for any more sounds from the doors?
Oh, sure. Give me a perception roll.
Maybe Cal or Wind also want to walk up to them, but I'll stay from a distance at least.
What door is Zora trying to listen to? The top one? I think it's kind of closest.
Yeah, just listening to the wall, I guess, seeing if there's a big room past it or if I can hear anything.
Zora is listening to the wall and kind of the door. You're fairly certain that behind the wall you're listening to, there is just extra wall. It doesn't sound like a room behind it. But you also don't hear anything in particular as you're standing next to the door where Yoti is also listening to. Yoti, you're also not hearing anything on the other side other than what sounds like some fish swimming around. Cal, you hear on the other side of the door some fish swimming around, but also like a sort of not exactly breathing, but some kind of thing that air goes through. It sounds hollow. It sounds like kind of empty, but you don't hear any like talking or anything like that. What is Wind looking at?
Good question. I'd probably also go to the top one.
Wind also doesn't hear anything specific other than like small fishies swimming around in that chamber. But you definitely hear like there's a small chamber on the top door. It sounds very small, as if like not a one person kind of door, but it's very much like Fox can probably not fit in. from how the air moves inside it. It's very small.
And we kind of need to hurry up because if the potion dissipates, Fox is stuck in here.
There was one bigger door, but it was still too small for Fox, right?
Yeah, and we don't know if that leads out.
Fox could squeeze through.
Yeah. Well, then let's go. Does the sound at the bottom door, I guess Cal is sharing that, sound like the undead? Like, could that be coming from more monsters?
It does give that hunch, yes.
I guess we are in a time crunch, but I am still standing right next to the statue, so I just love to try if I get any response. If there's the being that is likely hiding in the statue, if just whisper of very soft, gentle, I don't want to startle them or make them aggressive, but are you there? Can you hear us?
You whisper to the statue. Are you there? Can you hear us? And you hear a slight surprise sound, as if a small gasp. And you hear a voice responding very quietly. How do you know I'm here?
I didn't know, but I sensed the presence. We don't mean any harm if you don't intend to harm us.
Are your friends going to attack me if I come out?
No, I can assure you.
Zora, there's something so familiar with that voice that you're hearing. And very quickly you understand why. As you can all see, from within the statue floats out a spirit of a young wooden elf with green hair and long cloak. A face that you have seen many times in the past couple of days. Blake Greenleaf.
Wow.
And I think this is where we're going to stop our session.
So disrespectful. Also, just stealing someone's likeness like that. Just so disrespectful.
We don't know that yet. Maybe it's another trick.
It might be another trick, but from the way they reacted, they seemed surprised. Fair. We can definitely give them an insight roll or something next time, but it does seem like someone stole their likeness.
But well, we'll pick out next time if this version of Blake will also
have manners,
stab us in the back, or if we're nice to him, he'll actually be nice to us. No, would be what
could be. Fun little trivia fact for those of us, or those of the listeners that actually do not know. Shrewd, as in a shrewd tradition, has multiple meanings. Some of them means ominous, dangerous. Shrewd means hag, witch. Just a little info.
Thank you, Charlie. I did not know that.
I was wondering if it's going to be too big of a reveal from the name, but no one said anything, so I was like, yeah, that works.
I mean, we did have the tidbit of that we're likely facing hacks from Cal, so...
Yeah.
Let's see if this is also part of their schemes or if this is actually Blake and he might help us.
We're going to have to see it next time. But yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing today. Thank you very much for listening today. And have a good one,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Of Dice and Dinner uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy. That's paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Of Dice and Dinner is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. Content in the short adventures played by Of Dice and Dinner are not canon, nor were they endorsed or approved by Paizo. If you would like to reach out to us in social media, you can find us in Blue Sky with Of Dice and Dinner Blue Sky, or in our email address, ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.